I'm going to be discussing World War II's unluckiest ship. The William D. Porter, or the Willy D for short, was a Fletcher-class destroyer led by none other than Wilter Daves Walter. The calamitous craft launched in 1942 going a respectable speed of 35 knots. The boat's unfortunate reputation started seconds before it left the harbor. The anchor was released too soon and fell out of the harbor, damaging all the other ships around them. But if you come to know the Willy D like I do, there's nothing compared to the rest of the unlucky, hapless stuff they do later. The second ill-fated event that occurred for our friends on the D was when the crew dropped a live depth charge overboard that almost blew up the Willy D and the other ships around it, including the President's ship, the Iowa. Now, for those of you who don't know what a depth charge is, basically it's a giant submarine explosive that explodes upon impact, so the mission with the President could have easily ended then and there. The third miserable misfortune that occurred is the Willy D had boiler failure, so they had to get repaired before acid got everywhere and melted the entire crew to ashes. The fourth horrible hoax on the Willy D was on a top-secret mission involving President Roosevelt on the Iowa, where they had to maintain complete radio silence. Now, the Willy D was doing, you guessed it, shooting torpedoes for a drill. But don't worry, they aren't live Captain. What is it, Lieutenant? Yeah, we actually shot a live torpedo, and it's heading towards the President's ship. Yeah, but what about that radio silence, Lieutenant? How are we gonna warn them? Maybe we can move the ship around like crazy and start yelling at them. Great idea, Lieutenant. When that didn't work, they had to break radio silence and warn them. They ended up barely missing the Iowa thanks to some crazy, courageous crew members. The President had to talk to Captain Wilford and placed him under arrest because he thought it was some sort of weird assassination attempt. But the President let him go because he thought it was just absolutely hilarious that he was almost reduced to crumblets. The fifth scandalous scourge is after being relocated in the north, a drunk crew member launched a missile at the base commander's house. But by now I guess that's barely a surprise. The last forlorn fate of the William D. Porter is when it shot down a Japanese aircraft, and while nobody was able to control it, it careened straight into the ship and exploded it. But luckily everyone on the crew survived and all lived happily ever after. The moral of this story is if you're ever captain of a very unlucky ship, you should probably retire. This story helps me envision my future, because in my story I want to be a sailor when I grow up. Until next time, I'm Isaac, and thank you for watching.